Hello, Shamsh.
Hey, how are you?
I'm well. How are you doing?
Good. I'm just gonna put on my headphones. So we can.
Cool. Do you know how to screen share? I take it.
Yep.
Awesome. I'm going to go off camera for just a moment, but I can still hear you.
You have to be host or speaker. It says host disabled and attendee screen sharing.
Really? Hmm. Hmm. Well, I'm going to make you a host,
Okay.
and that should.
Okay.
Does that open up the screen sharing?
Yes, it does.
Okay, cool. Now, that might require you to admit the people that are
Exactly.
coming on board. So
I will keep my video open so I can speak to everyone and yourself. And yes, I think I will have to admit them. Nobody's here yet.
okay, they'll probably start.
It's nice and early at 5:52 a.m. here, so it's good.
Right, that's what we have here. Yeah, and we've got some people watching on YouTube on the live stream. So, and let's see. I'm gonna try something, and you're gonna have to start the recording too, probably.
Okay. Yeah, I'll do that.
Okay, you should be able to do that.
Yeah, I
Okay,
should
cool.
do that just before I start, right?
Correct. And I'll say a few opening remarks, and then I'll turn it over to you.
All right.
Okay. Cool. I'm gonna go off camera. You know what? You might want to make me host again, because I'm just thinking that might record this to your computer if you're host.
Okay, your host again.
Okay. And it still shows. Let me see. Okay. Now see if you can screen share. Okay.
Yeah.
Good. Okay, perfect. And I'll take care of the recording and the allowing the people in and all that. Perfect.
Sounds good.
And is my audio okay?
It is. It's perfect.
Great. Okay, Chad is joining us.
Hello?
Hey, Chad.
Hey, Jay, how's it going?
Good, how are you?
Doing well.
This is Shamsh.
Hey, Chad, how are you?
Hi, I'm doing well. Let's see if I can get my thing on here.
Chad is one of the core members of Desert Blockchain, and he works for CVS Pharmacy in their IT department.
Yeah, I remember meeting with Shamsh.
Yeah, we connected once.
Yeah, on the meeting. Hey, Jay, I got a light for my setup.
Nice.
Oh man, I'm almost ready to be a YouTuber.
Very cool.
Awesome.
All right, I'm gonna go. I'll run to the restroom. I'll be back in a second.
Okay, cool. And we have Gary Marchant, Professor Gary Marchant from ASU Law School. The Sandra Day O'Connor School of Law is joining us.
Hi, Jay.
Gary, I'm pleased to introduce you to Shamsh.
Hi,
He's the
Shamsh.
CEO.
Hey, Gary.
Hello.
And so ASU Law just had the e-discovery conference and a lot of information on documentation and so forth. So I'm delighted that you guys are meeting one another here. Um,
And we were
Sean.
supposed to be having our Gets conference starting today,
That's right.
which you would have
Yeah.
been speaking at, Jay, but
Yeah.
unfortunately not.
Yeah. So good stuff. Yeah, it's unfortunate. I was looking forward to the Gets.
Yeah.
That's the governance of emerging technology and science at ASU. Is it a 3-day event?
2-day. Yeah.
2-day event?
Yeah, it was
And
2.5 for a while. We just thought that was too much. We pulled it back to 2-day.
And there's about, I would say there's close to 200 people that fly in from all over the world, and just an outstanding event.
Yeah, we had 110 speakers last year.
Yeah, it was,
Wow.
It's amazing. Just a lot of blockchain in the policy and legal and governance realm. Just an amazing group of people. So.
Yeah, so it was a fun conference.
Oh, and I should also mention, so Gary is an esteemed professor in sustainability, and Shamsh has a keen interest in sustainability. In fact, they plant a tree for every 8,000 pages of paper that they save, right?
Oh, nice.
Yes, we do. Yeah.
That's great.
So,
Are you here in Arizona or?
I'm almost there. We're stuck in Dubai until the planes let us come to Phoenix.
Okay.
But we are officially a Phoenix company. Moved our global headquarters to Phoenix just recently, a month ago, and from San Francisco.
Okay.
And so we have offices in Dubai and Sri Lanka, and my family is in Dubai. So during this, initially during the global lockdown in March, I decided to fly back from Phoenix to be here and where I have a home, because we haven't set up there yet. Doctor here and comfort is here still.
Sure.
But yeah, itching to get back. So hopefully when the skies open up, I can be on that first flight.
Good.
Well, let's go ahead and get started. It's 7 o'clock. I'm going to hit the recording. And so I'll say a couple of introductory words. Okay, I think we are recording now, and welcome to the Desert Blockchain monthly session on May the 27th, 2020. It's 7 p.m. Arizona time, and tonight we're going to be featuring an entity that is moving to Arizona, making Arizona its home, which is ZoroSign, and we're fortunate to have Shamsh Hadi, who's the CEO of ZoroSign and the co-founder, who's joining us from Dubai. And you're creating some really cool services on e-documents, e-signing, and using the Hyperledger blockchain and platform in order to create your services. So we're delighted to have you. We'll have a few other folks joining us. And I would like to just introduce a few other folks that are on the session. We have Professor Gary Marchant of Arizona State University, Sandra Day O'Connor College of Law, who hosts some incredible conferences. I highly recommend you keep your eye on some of the events that are going on there. And we have Chad Islander, who's helps quite a bit with Desert Blockchain, also was with CDS Pharmacy in their IT department. And we have Jose, who's also an active member of the Desert Blockchain community and is with American Express. So, and we have other folks that are joining us via YouTube live stream. And if you're on the live stream, you're welcome to place some comments in the chat section. I am monitoring that, and we will add that into the conversation. So at this point, well, let me tell you how I was introduced to Shamsh and ZoroSign. the Greater Phoenix Economic Council introduced us, and ZoroSign is going to be moving their headquarters to Phoenix in Arizona. And you basically, you've been active, you've looked all over the world, and I'd love to hear a little bit about your reasons for choosing Arizona, and what attracted you here, Shamsh. And yeah, so I'll go ahead and turn it over to you. You can tell us about ZoroSign and a little bit about what was the attraction to moving to Arizona.
Great. Thank you, Jay, for the introduction, and good evening to everyone there, or hello to anyone around the world who is listening in. I hope, first of all, I hope you are all safe and keeping in good health. Thank you so much for the time today. And a quick brief about myself before I get into a little bit about ZoroSign. And yes, I do love questions, so please do, please do ask, and I'd be happy to answer those for you. So as Greater Phoenix Economic Council says, Phoenix is hot. And that's basically why I decided to come there. And it's not hot weather-wise, because where I am right now, Dubai is equally as hot. But it definitely is a city that I have seen in the US is really, really on the exponential growth platform, on the getting off the charts. And I really, really love the city in terms of when I was there, the people, the city itself, and more importantly, the blockchain community really impressed me. I have not yet come across any city around the world that has shown such warmth, such knowledge, and more importantly, the desire to learn and grow. And I think that is one of the core principles I follow, that every day is a learning day. And if I don't learn something, let me take it that another way. The day I stop learning is the day I consider I'm going to die. So Phoenix keeps teaching me something every day, and the people around there have really pushed me to do so. So I'm super excited. Like Jay said, our global headquarters will be in Phoenix very shortly. Hopefully this pandemic opens up the friendly skies again. And the earlier it does so, the earlier it is going to be our global headquarters. So I plan that it should be by the midsummer that ZoroSign and myself should have our doors open in Phoenix. A little bit of background on myself. I am a global traveler. I was born in California, but I have lived all over the world, in Hong Kong, Singapore, parts of Canada, parts of the US, and also sometime in the Middle East, only in Dubai. My passion has always been technology. And the earliest days I can remember myself being in this space is I think just when I was under 10 years old, when I decided to rip open a gift that I was given for Christmas, which was an IBM 286. I didn't want to turn it on. I didn't want to see what it looked like. I didn't want to see what Microsoft Windows looked like. I wanted to see the inside of it. And I remember we got I got that desktop, and the next morning I didn't know how to put it back. And that just kept building out my curiosity of what is a computer and how do we get it working. Luckily, I had a very understanding dad, so I didn't get myself into trouble that day. And he was able to replace it for me. And so then I decided not to start ripping things open, but learn how to start learning things on the screen. So I truly believe that I was, I had that passion in me right from the get-go. ZoroSign was co-founded back in 2015, and as my third tech startup, and building on that passion, I definitely saw something out there that we needed to change, we needed to improve, we needed to build upon, and that was basically doing business online. There were a lot of things that the other co-founder and myself saw that we needed to address, questions that the industry was not asking, more specifically on the privacy, security, and validation aspect. And I'll go into that very shortly with our presentation and then a quick demo of ZoroSign. But with technology always changing, we wanted to also be ahead of the curve. That's something that I've always enjoyed doing with all my startups. And we found that blockchain would definitely be the right technology or the platform to use. As you may remember, back then, Bitcoin was the only thing that was associated with blockchain for majority of the world's population. So at points in time, there's still a learning or a teaching aspect of our, when we're speaking or when we're demoing and things like that. But I'm sure that I won't have to get into a 101 course here with this group at least. So let me kick into the presentation right away. And Jay, since I'll be screen sharing, if there is any question, please just feel free to stop me and I will continue. I'll answer that question. So I hope you can all see my screen. Yeah, great. All right, so ZoroSign is basically in the business, we're into security, privacy in all your data and documents. And for us, it is everything related to trust. We are in existence because we have your trust. Our employees also have the trust that this is, an organization that is going to continue to grow and make sure that we provide that trust in every life that we touch. So like I quickly mentioned that we found there were 3 issues or 3 problems back in 2013, and then when the company was founded in 2015, that we really wanted to make an impact in everyday's life for people doing business online. And that was user privacy, data and document security, and user verification and authentication. So the first one was user privacy. And that is basically what we felt was, people are losing trust, and we wanted to make sure that that trust was something that we were able to capture back. And with hacks, with leaks, and unfortunately with all those things that are sometimes not in our control as a user of a platform, we decided that everything has to be built on that trust, where everything that is there, be it your personal PII, your PHI, or just your username, your password, and your address, or even just your signature, privacy is what matters, and that's what we're focusing on. The second one is data and document security. Now this builds off of user privacy. Your data is your data and your documents are your documents. So no backdoors, no ways of leaking information. Even the way that it is stored, it should be stored where it's inaccessible and only available to you. So for example, PKI infrastructure being used in other methodologies of breaking down the hash, and securely storing it. We've also filed a patent in our technology, so that is, and using with the blockchain and the way that the data is stored and then encrypted and decrypted. So that is in the process of being patented as well, and hopefully that should circle back around the end of the year. And so again, the second aspect is data and document security. And finally, this is the aspect that I think most people in the world, even today, are not focusing on, is user verification and authentication. And this is not only in this space, but it's across the tech space. Are we just verifying that a person is a person just with the username and password, and the username just being an email address? Are we advancing it with just an OTP that sometimes can be spoofed? What are those methodologies that we're proving to the world that when you're doing business, when you're transacting, when you're posting, when you're sharing day-to-day life events, is it really you, or is it a bot? Has your account been hacked? And more importantly, are you the right person that is supposed to see that information or have access to that information? So these are the three core fundamentals that we focus on with ZoroSign. So a little bit about us. We were founded in October of 2015. Our product launched in November of 2017. So by the time we really rolled out was, you can count as the January of 2018. So we, in about 2.5 years now, we have over 40,000 paid using customers. These are individual customers or accounts. And so then that's not the number of licenses. Licenses vary from account to account. But we have over 40,000 paid accounts today. All over the world, most of it is in the US, and all the way from mom pop to government. And we are now reached the level of state governments. So California was our first state government, and we're rolling out, and hopefully we'll see some action in Arizona very soon. So what is ZoroSign? It's basically what we call a DBP, a digital business platform. It's a secure and encrypted one where you can do your day-to-day work through it. We are a cloud-based solution, and we have multiple deployment models. So you can use our REST APIs to integrate into your platform that you use. You can also access ZoroSign through a private and secure cloud that you control. And more importantly, if you need additional security mechanisms and tools, and if you're running your own data center or your own servers, we can have an on-prem solution as well. Our public cloud service runs on AWS, so very easy to use, and a lot of people, most people that we've interacted with have had experience with AWS in the past as well. That does not limit us to running on other clouds, Azure and others. We have also had instances done on other cloud services around the world. Why blockchain? Basically the four fundamentals of blockchain has really helped us push why the question should be, why not blockchain? And, and I think people are able to now really focus on and hone in on, the tools that blockchain has, and the four principles that we use. Those are the reasons why we should be focusing on transacting, trusting, and using solutions that run some sort of blockchain technology. We are built completely ground up on the blockchain technology, and like Jay mentioned, we're using the Hyperledger Fabric. So for us, that is something that is we're very comfortable with. We feel that this is also a platform where we're able to grow, and we're able to help other companies grow with the technology. And one of the key features that we're proud of is that as we're growing, they're growing, and they don't need to keep coming back and replacing their technology, updating their technology, because that is the heavy lifting that we continue to do from our back end, and that's one of the promises that we have. So in terms of cost, in terms of training, in terms of the headaches that sometimes the tech, softwares give individuals and corporations in the tech world of constantly upgrading, and by the time you implement within a couple of months, there's a new technology out there. That always happens with cars. By the time we buy a car, then there's always a new car that's that comes out, and we're I see that a lot, and I always then ask myself that why couldn't I have just waited a couple of months, and I could have had a better car. So in that for us, that's something that's a promise that we give on our end as well. There are 5 components of ZoroSign. So the first being the digital signature. We feel that this is something that has definitely changed the world of when people are transacting online and signing documents and forms. It used to be the e-signature solution. E-signature, as you know, is a 20-year-old technology, 21 years old, and to be precise, and has not evolved, and it's still basically just an image of your signature placed on a document with a disclaimer that it is your intent to sign, because the law allows you to have a representation of your signature, not your real signature, by the way, and that's just how it is. So the laws have not advanced also in terms of technology, and as we know, 20 years is a very, very long time in the tech world for things not to evolve. So we decided to go with digital signature using PKI infrastructure and additional methodologies as well to really hone in and focus in on verifying, validating the user, their signature, and basically putting that real wet ink signature on a document using digital signature. And this is now what people are asking for, looking for, and laws as we are seeing now are also pushing towards digital signatures rather than e-signatures. The second component is Zoroscience Forensics Token. That is the aspect that we have patented. This is basically like like a wax seal that you had in the past. Our forefathers had used when transacting and sending envelopes around the world. And so basically our token, our digital wax seal, captures all the document's DNA, as we like to call it. So it's the user's information, the document, the attachments, Sarbanes-Oxley audit trail, the chain of custody. All of that is captured into this token, and only if you have been a participant of that workflow or you request to have access to it, that's when you will be able to verify the transaction, validate the document and the users, and basically this is the control mechanism that you would want to have, is in our opinion, when you are viewing and when you're accessing. And this is both on paper-based and printed versions of the documents. We don't like the paper-based because we are a paperless company, but obviously, there are businesses that still rely on that. And hopefully with our third component, we are able to help companies go completely paperless. So that's basically our workflow automation engine. So this is what we decided to implement with there to help move those manual-based processes or semi-manual based processes to completely digital. We have put our foot in our own mouth, and we decided that all our 4 offices, so we have our global headquarters now in Phoenix, we have an office in Dubai, and an office in India and in Sri Lanka, currently, with a couple more offices that are planned to open later this year, which had to be postponed due to the pandemic. But none of our offices have a printer. We don't use paper. That means we don't have filing cabinets, no soft costs as well, in terms of pens, staplers, hole punch, anything like that. We've been able to even bring down insurance costs across the board on all our offices for fire and flood, because we basically have limited amount of things now that need to be insured, which is basically the paper. Our document management system is the 4th component, and that is basically, when we're moving into this tech world, this paperless world, everything being on the cloud, it is a pain to have multiple logins. It is a pain to know where everything is stored, remember passwords, and because we definitely don't recommend you using the same password across the board with all your accounts online, and also to have a place where we can retrieve the documents that are all stored on the blockchain. We've included a document management system. We have, however, linked all the popular cloud services as well, because we know that people don't always like to change everything that they're doing. So Google Drive, Microsoft's OneDrive, Apple's iCloud, Dropbox, Box, we're all connected. So you can just easily log into any one of your accounts there and then have the documents, either upload them from there or download them to to the right location for your easy filing and access. And finally, Zorofill was it's in the beta stage still, and it's the newest member of our platform. It's using AI and ML to auto e-fill forms. This was an idea that came in with one of my own personal pet peeves, because I barely use a pen and paper now that we don't have it in our office as well. So I think I've forgotten how to read my own writing, and we definitely always get forms and documents to fill out. So we decided to help me and others around the world as well to stop learning how to read our own writing again, and basically have everything online. So with a click of a button, everything gets filled out, and we make sure that nothing is left out. And then you can just continue on your day-to-day work. So that painful process of writing pages, even a page now, is all gone with just a click of a button of a mouse. So how does ZoroSign work? It's basically 3 steps. Either you upload your document or you build it out, the template out in ZoroSign. We do the lifting of sending it over and making sure that it goes to the right people at the right time. We also help with the reminding them, making sure that they don't miss due dates. And then you can track it and monitor the process of where the signatures or where the documents are or forms are in terms of where it's supposed to be filled. Once it's done, we secure it. And then you always will have access to verifying and authenticating both yourselves if you are part of the workflow, or if people come in contact with it. So let me give you a quick example of what I mean by verifying and authenticate. So if there's 2 parties that are part of for example, a sales and purchase agreement, and if there is a discrepancy and it goes to court, basically what we're saying here is, and it is definitely being used this way, is the courts are no longer using whatever testimony that is provided in terms of the contract, either physically printed out and shared with them. They are now just asking the courts to validate the contract that was executed by scanning that our secure token, which is only read through our mobile apps that are available on the Apple iOS store and the Google Android store. And then they, on their own devices, have access to the final document. They are able to see if there were any modifications, revisions, if the contracts had expiry dates, or terminate, if they were canceled, revised, revoked. All of that they can see by accessing the document, its workflows, the audit trail, the chain of custody, that is all secured on the blockchain. So obviously, there's no question about tampering, with the immutability, and obviously, the other benefits of having it on the blockchain. Sorry. Industries that have already started using ZoroSign: education, financial services, government, healthcare, insurance, legal, real estate, and home inspection. There are more, but these are the popular ones that have picked up ZoroSign right away, and we've made some sort of dent in these industries. Departments that within these industries that specifically are using ZoroSign: procurement, accounting and tax, finance, HR, legal, marketing, and sales. And then examples of documents here. I'm not going to read through all of them, but as you can see, there's a whole wide variety of them. And obviously you have the deck as well, so you can see the type of documents that are used. Again, these are just a list of a few documents. Obviously, every business, every organization, every workflow may be different. And this is the last part of ZoroSign. This is not our CSR policy. This is actually part of our DNA, where we want to save the planet. And so what ZoroSign did was, right at the beginning, we calculated how many pages it takes to save a medium-sized tree. And we, with our research, we found that it's 8,000 pages. So we partnered up with an organization based out of California. And so every 8,000 pages you or your organization transacts, we plant a tree. So you start off with a empty tree, and while you build it out, while you start filling out and transacting 8,000 pages, we've gamified it just to make it exciting and challenge you. And once the tree looks pretty like this, we contact you, and then we ask you to share with us through that organization where you would like to plant the tree, and there's options to plant it globally. And then we maintain that tree for life, and then you're able to track that tree as and when and how frequent you want to do so. So that's just some aspect of giving back. We're already speaking to the state of Arizona and city of Phoenix to start, making sure that we promote planting those trees in Phoenix. But again, that is the ultimate decision of the customer. But if there is no decision taken in a specific geographic location anywhere in the world, then we will plant that tree in Phoenix. Over the past couple of years, we have participated in the million tree challenge for the California wildfires. But now that Phoenix is our home, we'll try and make an impact there as well. So that is a quick overview of ZoroSign. And so the question we ask individuals when we speak to them now is that technologies that we've been used to and we've been trusting since the 20th century, now that we are in the 21st century, are you sure that they have grown? Are you sure that they have evolved and pivoted in areas that matter to you more? So the direct question that we ask is, are you 100% sure that your data and documents are secure? I think you can all agree with me that there are companies out there that sometimes even say that they are secure, that they say that they have the encryptions. No need to call out names, but especially in the conferencing world, we've just recently seen that, and unfortunate that those examples are unfortunate. But we are one of those companies that definitely focus on that, and we can prove that if that is anything that requires that proof. Now I will share my screen of our platform that we're using, so I can quickly show you a quick demo of ZoroSign. This is our website. As you can see, we are we're offering businesses that are going through working from home. I think now everybody has gotten used to working from home, but if you would like to sign up for our free trial during this pandemic, we opened up 3-month free trial, and which ends on June 30th. So from the date that you sign up, and for 3 months on, you have unlimited documents to send out through our platform, and it's as easy as just signing up. But this is our website. You can learn a lot more about us, who we are, what we do, and this is our login page. I talked about user validation and verification. We still have the old school method of username and password, but last November we launched our passwordless login. If you have our mobile app downloaded, you can log in securely and safely through our mobile app on our website and on our mobile app, and that is additional verification validation that it is you using multi-factor authentication. So once you've signed in, right away you come into our dashboard, and our way of communicating with our customers is through these pop-ups, which you can obviously hide if you don't want to see it. But this, we are very cognizant of the fact that we all get hundreds of emails a day, some or most that we don't really want to read and filter out. so we don't communicate with you unless necessary. So we always use these pop-ups, like I mentioned, and anytime something new comes up, we will always let you know, and we'll always have a video of how it is, how we recommend it to be used. So in this case, we've recently redone our workflow builder, and we've had a feature where customizable emails are also you're able to send those through our platform. So you can always go to our YouTube channel or click here to see the video. And then there is also another area that we use for our what's new area. So new features that we have here. So as you can see, the workflow builder it's quite recent. We have our ZoroSign digital certificate, our enhancements here into our blockchain audit trail, password protected files, and so forth. So this is an area, again, I've clicked to not to show again, because I log into ZoroSign very frequently, so I would not want to keep clicking on the X button here, but you can always turn that on and off. Our dashboard is where all the action takes place. Your inbox is basically where you would see everything, just like on your email client. If you have documents or forms that you would like to fill or process or that need your attention are in here, or if a document or form is completed, you will be able to view it from here. In process basically is a workflow that you have completed your step in, but that still has other people to participate in. So these are, for example, document sets, NDAs, third-party agreements, employee handbooks, things like that. You can always go in to see more details, the date it started, what step it's in, who's the originator, who is it with, and things like that. This is the completed basket, where you can see things that are completed. So you can obviously see, different agreements, testing, NDAs, quotes, employee documents, things like that. That's all there. And you can go so and so on. You can search as well. You will also see documents that are been shared with you, or if people have scanned the token and have requested access, you can also look at that there. Then rejected is what what it's implying. Anything that has been rejected, if it is in, all those things are all those documents or forms will be listed out here. So for example, an invoice was rejected back in July 2019. You always have a reason why you have to put in that is there. Then you can also see your expired documents or documents that have been canceled. On the top right, you can see our profile, where you can edit your profile, your business profile. I'm an admin, so I have additional areas here, so I can edit the company seal. We are connected to Clio and many other solutions. Clio is in the legal space, and then you can change your password and then see the usage summary for yourself here. Also, how many licenses that are available. I talked about the Save a Tree, Plant a Tree program that is our core part. So my account, this account of mine, we've transacted 846 pages. As you can see, I'm a long ways away to that 8,000, but my tree is starting to fill up and the grass around me is starting to get green. And then I can also see right away what my impact is with those 846 pages. I've saved about 0.11% of a tree. This is how many pounds of wood or kilos of wood that I've saved currently, how much water in gallons I've saved, how much time I've saved, how many tons of CO2 I have avoided, and approximately how much cost savings I've had as of transacting these 846 pages. On the left side is where all our features are. So this is our start button, this is our desktop, this is our document management system, where you can access your draft documents and templates. Your address book, this is where you can view all your users. You can add contacts, add groups, you can import from Active Directory, Outlook, Gmail, and other areas. This is Zorofill in its beta stage. This is where you manage your licenses, and then admin is where another area that people love to see and try to get to understand how they can help their businesses grow. So you can add departments and to assign to the users within your organization. You can assign them roles. So what role they play in your organization. This is where you manage your users as an admin. So where you can add users, you can add which department they're in, what role they'll have, who are your active users, who are your inactive users. And from your active users, you can also lock them out if they are on holiday, or sometimes they lock themselves out if they forget their passwords, or if they no longer work for the company, you can also lock them out. And once they become inactive, then you can also deactivate their license and assign it to someone else if you need to. Company seal is that is obviously if you need to apply that. And then you have analytics. So this is basically your summaries for your organization. How many documents have been sent, how many are in the inbox of all the employee organizations, the organization's employees, how many are in process, completed, and so forth. And then your licenses as well. And then finally, there are other settings that we have here. So if you have a company font and the size that you use, so then it can be managed here. Obviously, it can also be modified while it is in, while you are seeing a document. And then we also have partnered for additional verification for a knowledge-based authentication with LexisNexis. So that is a premium feature that one would have to contact their sales rep or contact sales@zorosign.com to get more details. Our forensics tokens, this is where everything is housed and all the action is here. So if you have shared a document, you can decide to share a proposal or whatever it is, then you can decide who to share it with, give them access. You can open the document from here. You can remove the sharing feature. You can also time it here. And then if someone has scanned a token that you have been part of, you can see that here, and then you can see what is the status. So for example, I rejected this person and these are pending with me to give them, either grant them access, accept it, or reject that permission. And then you can always see our terms and conditions, privacy policy. If there's a problem you're having, you can report it or contact us. I talked about our workflow automation. So that's where all the action happens here with the start button, where you can send out a document to eSign. You can send bulk send documents. And this was a feature that our education customers asked for, which we turned around and built very quickly, where they wanted to send out a form where all their employees had to sign immediately for training that they had gotten. A quick sign is, you can also quick sign a document, which is just send over a document with no participation or actions given to the other parties. And then you can also create templates. So an e-sign is basically where you would have 2 or more people participating in a workflow. Bulk sign, like I mentioned, is you don't have to send out, say, 300 documents, each and every one. You can send out one document to 300 people with just one click of a button. And a quick sign is, like I mentioned, a one-way traffic. So for example, like a memo or something where you just want an update to be given to the other party, where they don't have to fill out any information or sign anything. We have an area where you can create and then select templates. This is how we make your life easier, and we save you a lot of time, which effectively also then saves money. So we have 5 different templates that we allow you to create. So document specific template is basically where the same document is used and the users or participants change from each workflow or each envelope from time to time. So an example of this would be for a leave request, or that's the one that comes to the top of my mind, where each employee, it doesn't matter of which employee it is the same leave request template. It's the same set of people that are approving in the back end, be it HR, finance, and direct line managers, but the employees would change from request to request. A user-specific template is where the same set of people would be part of the transaction. However, the document changes on the frequency. So an example of this would be, for example, your financial statements on a month-to-month basis, your balance sheet, your trial balance, and your cash flow changes on a month-to-month basis, but it's still the same people that need to sign those documents. Another example would be utility bills or petty cash. So reimbursements, you're on a monthly basis, or however frequently you have your processes, but the same people would be approving it and reimbursing your employees or yourselves, but it is the individuals, it is the document that changes, but the individuals stay the same. Dynamic is basically a hybrid of both the document specific and user specific, where you can make modifications to the document or to the people that are part of this. This is especially used in our financial services space, because if there are forms on their websites or in their portals that their customers use that are powered by ZoroSign, if there is a car loan or student loan that is above the norm but is still being accommodated by the bank or the credit union, then if you need an additional manager that needs to sign it, get additional approval, then if you build out a dynamic workflow, then you can add that extra level of or layer of approval by adding in someone else. Bulk send, like I mentioned earlier, you can create this template and then send it out to specific groups that you have formed in your address book, or individuals across your organization, or it could even be your customers on a year-to-year basis if you need them to update their Know Your Customer or KYC, or any updated forms that need to be provided. And then we also work in the architecture space, in the consulting space, where any AutoCAD or DWF drawings that are needed to be approved, and this is coming through most of our, some of our government entities or customers that we have that are using our platform. From the approvals, the permitting departments are using our technology to get their processes approved and save time, and get those approvals out for people to start building and growing their cities and their countries. So that is a very quick update and then a quick look into ZoroSign. If there's any other information that you would like, please contact us at info@zorosign.com. The Desert Blockchain community is always free to contact me directly, and I'll have someone connected to you right away. And yeah, if there's any questions, I'm happy to ask at that time.
Great, thank you, Shamsh. That's very impressive how thorough and comprehensive the service is, and it's exciting to have you in Phoenix and Arizona, coming to Phoenix and Arizona. And one question I would ask you, and then we'll open it up to others, and if you might be on mute, I've unmuted most people, but if you muted yourself, then you might have to unmute yourself. But I'd love to hear what you would like to see from the Arizona innovation community, and how could Desert Blockchain and the tech community and legal community and academic community and enterprise community collaborate with ZoroSign? So.
Yeah, great. Thank you so much for asking that question. So, first of all, ZoroSign is not just a business that wants to park its global headquarters there in Phoenix. Wherever we've gone, we've always left an imprint. We've always wanted to be part of the community at large and grow. So, for example, with the education committee, we are working with Grand Canyon University and have been in discussions with the ASU SkySong to basically build out blockchain, be part of R&D, work with the blockchain lab, out of ASU and others, and work on improving what we have, what not only on our platform but in the blockchain space, the security, the privacy. So we would like to grow, and along with our potential partners, with the Desert Blockchain community as well, we would like to make an impact, a positive impact in the blockchain space as well. In the legal space, we want to continue to work with, that industry in Arizona. We want to help with, improving the laws that are in place, both from the state and federally. So we are working with in Washington to get the right language put in. We're trying to work with, the House, the Senate, and others to really make sure that there is a better understanding and putting the U.S. ahead of, ahead in the world in leading the way, in paving the way for privacy, security, and using technology and advancements to our benefit in a positive way. So, for example, we were recently approved as an e-notary, as a solution that's part of the e-notary approvals in the state of Arizona. So Secretary Katie Hobbs's office approved us. So if there is a document that is now signed through ZoroSign with a notary part of the workflow, then those are going to be accepted in the court of Arizona. And we are now working with 2 remote notaries out of Arizona to power their technology using ZoroSign. So we are, again, pushing forward in that space. With the community at large, we would love to, partner with, different organizations, regardless of the vertical, to obviously, if there's a way that ZoroSign can help improve their platforms, their technologies, we would love to grow with them. But more importantly, it's not always about the money, but to really use our, what we've learned as thought leaders, as the experience that we have as well. We'd like to build and grow that and share that with the community as well. So we definitely want to be integrated and part of the ecosystem. And like I said, I've felt the community, the blockchain community specifically in Phoenix, be the most open and loving community that I have come across and in all my international travels. And I would love to continue to, once I'm physically there, to really be part of that and, and be with all of you guys and learn and grow with everyone.
Cool. Awesome. Thank you. And other questions? And if you're watching this on the live stream, you can type your questions into the chat. I'm monitoring that. So.
Shamsh, Jose Tafra here. Okay, first, I hope you have a good Eid.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, you're welcome. If you're talking about compliance, there is GDPR, there is CCPA, there is data retention, etc. How do you handle purging of data per those regulations?
So that's a great question. So if we go to our trust page, happy to show that very quickly. And that is where we show our compliance for ZoroSign. So we're not, so we're definitely compliant with, let me quickly pull it up. We're definitely compliant with GDPR. We did that before we could reach there. So eSign Act, UETA, GDPR, HIPAA, ISA 3402, SOC 2, Type 2, ISO. We meet all the compliances, CCPA. We're also in compliant with the ADA and WCAG 2.1 as well. So this is obviously important to us. These are very, very, these are the questions our the companies or our customers ask us. So even specifically from, our Canadian customers, our Indian customers, and that list keeps growing. But we are compliant. We make sure that we're trying to make sure we're ahead of the curve there, because we definitely want our customers and ourselves to be in compliance at all time, because they're trusting us more importantly. But we are also have to gain their trust by making sure we're compliant with their own country laws and regulations, but most importantly, as well as if we're maintaining this, then even from a privacy, security, and encryption standpoint, we're making sure that we are providing the latest and greatest to our customers.
Yeah.
Does that answer your question, Jose?
Absolutely, yes. That's something that beat me in the behind so many years ago, and I don't want to go over that again. That's why I ask.
Great. Other questions? Cool.
So I'm always around, like I mentioned, to the Desert Blockchain community. You can always reach out to me directly. And if there's anything else, then ZoroSign is, it's very easy to get hold of us through our website as well.
Great. All right, well, that's awesome. And we definitely welcome ZoroSign into the Arizona community, the tech community, the innovation community, enterprise community. And I'm delighted that we had an opportunity to, meet you, find out about ZoroSign, and, introduce you to some of what I consider the key members of the community here. So we'll go ahead and wrap it up for this evening. And our next month, we will have Tupelo presenting on their decentralized platform that's like blockchain without blockchain. And David Fry will be joining us along with some other members of the Tupelo community. And if you have a suggestion for upcoming topics or sessions, please let me know. We have these sessions on the fourth Wednesday of the month at 7 p.m. And we are also experimenting with some technical workshops and so forth that's to a smaller subset of the Desert Blockchain community. And if you're interested in that, please let me know. Right now we're meeting on Thursday evenings and Saturday afternoons, but that is kind of the technical side of things. So thank you everyone for attending, and Shamsh, thank you for joining us from Dubai. And we are excited to be to welcome you to Arizona, and we're looking forward to further collaboration. So
thank you so much. I'm very excited.
Thank you.
Take care, everyone. Thank you.
Bye.
Okay,
Bye.
bye-bye.
Yeah, thanks a lot.
Thank you.